This is my friend, and he is a foreign investor. His name is Gilbert Theodore Ronald de Baby Higgins DeMarcus de Cousins II. After his peer company's investment in Canada profited, he looked into factors of Canadian economic success. First things first, let's jump into the first topic. To start off, Canada has an abundance of natural resources, such as large reserves of gas, oil, and ore. Being a country full of these rich resources, Canada can be of significant value for international trade. Canada's minerals and metals industry has a significant impact on its development, providing ores, concentrates, and semi-fabricated and finished metal and mineral products to over 100 countries. The value of Canada's minerals and metal sector accounts to an estimated $102.3 billion as of 2020. There is an increasing demand for resources not available, accessible, or affordable domestically in those other countries. Furthermore, in some countries, mineral resources represent a huge source of income and wealth. Let's take energy and oil as an example. Energy resources include natural gas, crude oil, crude bitumen, which is oil sands, and coal. Mineral resources include gold, silver, nickel, copper, zinc, lead, zinc, iron, molybdenum, uranium, potash, and diamonds. To add on, oil is one of the most abundant natural resources found in Canada, with recoverable reserves estimated at more than 173 billion barrels. The nation has the third largest oil reserves in Canada. And fun fact, 20% of global trade is made up of natural resources, which also makes up the majority of exports from many nations.
The US has a tax rate of 21%, while Canadian's corporate tax rate is 15%, which means for the profits of a corporation, the government will only take 15%. If a country is offering cheaper labor or resources, the foreign investor has to take into consideration the corporate tax, which could decrease the total profits to roughly equal to a country with more expensive labor. In OECD countries, which includes Canada, corporate tax was decreased between 2003 to 2013, and the FDI amount has multiplied by almost 6 times during the tax reduction period.
Moving on, transportation is an important factor of trade. It allows natural resources, agricultural products, and manufactured goods, like we talked about, to reach domestic and international markets. Canada is very much a well-positioned country to act as a focal center for worldwide exchange. Our Air Transport Foundation is the most incredible on the planet due to the fact that we are one of the most visited countries in the world, and our seaside ports give us direct oceanic access to Asia, Europe, and South America. The Great Lakes likewise provide easy access to the US. Now, time for some fun facts. Did you know Canada has 13 international airports, 17 seaports, and 117 border crossings to the USA? Our next point is that Canada has a deep-rooted market access as the country is part of multiple trade agreements, the major ones such as CUSMA and CETA. To elaborate, these agreements provide Canada with global market access. Canada gives investors preferential market access through 14 trade agreements to 49 countries with nearly 1.5 billion consumers and a combined GDP of $60 trillion. Let's talk about CUSMA. The Canada-United States-Mexico Agreement took effect in 2020 and replaced the North American Free Trade Agreement, which is the NAFTA, and modernized continental trade. And other than the US, in 2020, Canada's top 5 trading partners included
China, Mexico, Japan, and the United Kingdom.
These 4 countries represented 18% of Canada's total international trade in 2020. Now, my friends, on to my next point.
Canada is first among G7 countries in terms of political stability. Corruption and government-opposing forces sporadically plague Canada, hence Canadian corporations are not subjected to any financial vulnerability due to political conflict or unethical infiltration from federal authorities. Canada consistently ranks lowest in government corporation and bribery rates. There's a definite absence of terrorism and violence, and due to the political stability, there are slightly less politically marginalized groups due to the Canadian government's social safety net that safeguards thousands of citizens from poverty, which in turn gathers a larger amount of the population ready to contribute to the economy while also steering them away from acting out against the government and guides them away from criminal activity.
This leads us to our next point.
Canada has the top 6 safest banks in North America, which are also in the top 35 globally. And in addition to FDI being discussed, making a portfolio investment in the Canadian economy is the optimal choice compared to other economies due to the strength and security of Canadian banks, which successfully safeguard the investor's assets. And Canadian bank stocks are low-risk investments. Moreover, foreign direct investors want the ability to have capital movement be a breezy process and not add to the variables that influence their process. In fact, post the 2008 financial crisis, Canadian banks were among the first in the G7 to recover from the crisis, as they were the first to restore a rising dividend, which demonstrates the quick action banks are ready to take as emergencies strike.
And last and most definitely not the least, it is important to note that Canada has a very dynamic economy with a market of 38 million consumers. Unfortunately, my friends, this is the end of this lovely and beautiful video. I will see you again next time. Bye!